Hello everybody and welcome to the latest debrief with myself, Ian Doyle. I'm joined by our full-time Liverpool correspondent, both home and away, Paul Gorst, currently home here in the Anfield press room after watching Liverpool beat Southampton 4-0. Bit of a strange game, wasn't it, really? I mean, Liverpool, first half, probably one of the poorest performances of certainly of recent times, recent weeks. Partly because Southampton played that well, to be honest. They did a very good job on them. But in the second half, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain scores 2 minutes into the second half, and then really it was a masterclass from Liverpool in terms of making the most of their opportunities and hitting on the counter-attack.
Yeah, definitely. I thought Liverpool were really poor first half. Southampton played well, and on another day could have had a couple of goals, couldn't he? Danny Ings went through, and not sure if it was Alisson or Van Dijk or a combination of both of them, but he basically got the block in after he'd gone round Gomez.
I think it was Shane Long, I think it may have been Shane Long.
Hit his own man, yeah. And then Højbjerg goes through and he's got Long and Ings to slide in, and he goes to shoot himself, and then Ings had another chance which Alisson came out and smothered quite well, and Liverpool weren't at the races really first half. Second half, as soon as they come out, that all changes. Oxlade-Chamberlain gets his goal, wrong foot's Alex McCarthy with a good finish, and then once that goes in, you don't really think Liverpool were ever going to lose it really, or even draw it. I thought they were excellent second half. Probably one of the best performances, best 45 minutes of the season actually, second half, I thought.
It's like when you consider what happened in the first half.
Exactly, yeah.
It was very good.
Put Southampton to the sword. Salah popping up with 2 at the end, so he's on 18 now for the season. Still think he gets a little bit overlooked, if I'm honest. Thought Henderson was fantastic. He's obviously got his goal himself. The way for Firmino's Anfield goal goes on, but other than that, another good day at the office, and they seem to be every other game now, don't they? Or literally every game. Every time they play now, it's 3 more points. 22 clear of City now.
100 points from possible 102,
yeah.
Which is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, Jurgen Klopp was asked after the game. He said, "Look, the reason we keep on asking all these questions is because we've never seen consistency like this before." And Klopp went, "Well, neither have I. He's never seen it." So it is interesting that there were some questions, not from any of us and certainly not from any of the players, about motivation after the win against West Ham United in midweek. With saying, how do you keep the players motivated? But in some ways, that first half performance motivated them to respond to it, didn't it?
Yeah, and when you've got players like Henderson, they kind of police themselves, don't they? And he would have known that wasn't good enough in the first half, as will have players like Van Dijk and you know, whoever, Gini Wijnaldum. All the characters of the right sort, aren't they? There's no one who goes hiding or sulks when things aren't going the way. They all seem to have that mentality to dig in, and Klopp praised that himself, didn't he? Said the attitude and the mentality of the players is what's basically turned that around and seen them come away with an ultimately comfortable win. But yeah, it is remarkable. I mean, are we taking it for granted? I'm not sure. It's just every game.
I don't think we are. I don't think the fans are. I think there's possibly a wider sense of everyone's thinking, oh, well, Liverpool are going to win the league title, which they almost certainly will do from this position. And that maybe it's when they do get a lot nearer to the line and perhaps get over it, perhaps then people will start saying about Liverpool, appreciating them for what they've done, because never before in the history of Europe's top 5 leagues has anybody won 24 of the first 25 games, and we're talking some of the greatest teams ever in the history of football have not been able to do this. Yeah, and
I think once that league is confirmed, Liverpool are 7 wins away from it now. It might even be earlier than that if City stumble tomorrow at Tottenham, which they could quite easily do. I'm thinking, what's going to keep Liverpool going now for the remainder of the Premier League season? Is it the desire to get 100 points, the desire to maybe become invincible? How about even invincible Centurions? This is the kind of talk that Liverpool are enabling from the likes of us now, because they're just so relentless and consistent. And I mean, 2 points dropped all season after 25 games. It's unheard of. Liverpool's lead is the biggest lead that any team have ever had in English top flight history at this stage. It's just an utterly incredible football team that we're privileged to watch every week at the moment.
I think I'm right in saying as well that Everton now can't finish above Liverpool, which for Liverpool fans they would take quite delight.
That's the first milestone ticked off.
That's the first one. Yeah. Well, no, they've already they can't finish bottom and they can't be relegated. I think the next one is, I think if they get 4 more points, then they qualify for the Champions League, which is like it's February. It's just February.
Yeah. Funny enough, Jurgen Klopp was asked about that on Friday, and he answered it with a straight face. He said, "Yeah, well, that's always the first port of call. We want to qualify for the Champions League, and the earlier you can get it done, it's easier for the club to plan." And he answered it seriously, and everyone was kind of like, we were only joking because, you know, you're clearly going to qualify for the Champions League.
Well, he always says that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's one way of keeping people grounded, keeping the team grounded, is by setting these little standards and saying, right, we've reached that one, we've reached this one, we've reached this one.
Yeah, I mean, the fans are perfectly within the right to celebrate this now from now until, you know, next season, now until August, because Liverpool are going to run away with this league title. But for Klopp and the players, it's their job to keep the feet on the ground, isn't it? And if the players are coming out and saying, oh yeah, it's done and dusted, it's easy to then criticise if they do take the foot off the gas or they have a below par day. But the focus is there from everyone connected to the club, and I think the fans have just got to enjoy everything while they can, because it's remarkable.
I mean, Southampton manager Ralph Hasenhüttl, that is right, isn't it? Yeah, he hit on something after the game, and he basically, to be fair, he was saying, like, look, I thought we played really well. I couldn't have asked much more from my team. He says, but two things. One is, even with being 1-0 up at half-time, there was still another 45 minutes to go, and he kind of suggested you saw the power of Liverpool, what they can do. So it certainly would have been over, but the first goal made a big difference, especially with it. You know, Ings could have conceivably had a penalty when Fabinho went to tackle him. I know we've had a few arguments in the press room while he was around the back there about whether or not it was a penalty or not. I mean, I'm of the opinion that it was the penalty.
I haven't actually seen a replay, so I'm not sure.
I'm of the opinion it wasn't. Obviously, Klopp said he hadn't seen it. Southampton manager said he had. But what he did say, Hasenhüttl, is that he did say that the reason Liverpool are unbeatable this season is because they not for 1 second underestimate any of their opponents. He said that's what they did against us today. That's what they've done against everybody else. They don't take things for granted. They don't go, oh, well, we're only playing X, Y, or Z. I mean, admittedly, Klopp said, look, this could have been a banana skin. Then he corrected himself and said, well, actually, no, Southampton are a good team, so it wouldn't be a banana skin. But he did think for a little while it could be the game. But it's an example that Liverpool, as the Southampton manager said, that they aren't underestimating anybody, and that's precisely why they are where they are. Yeah,
well, and Klopp always says that, doesn't he? And sometimes you might think he's just paying lip service when he's playing a team who are in the relegation zone or whatever it may be, but he's not. You know, the focus on the game and the approach the game the same way every week, don't they? And that's a testament to Klopp and his backroom staff and the players themselves to kind of ensure that there's never a drop off in terms of attitude or approach, and then eventually the quality will take over. So if Liverpool match the work rate of the opposition, then normally they've got the quality to beat them, haven't they? So it's the players always talk about the room for improvement, and you think, well, are they just saying that because they're having a fantastic season? Where is the actual room to improve? But they all believe to a man that they can get better and do better, and that is why they are where they are.
And for some of us now, winter break?
Yes, mid-season winter break for myself.
Yeah.
You'll be there at Anfield on Tuesday, won't you,
yes.
for the FA Cup fourth round. Yeah. Me and Jurgen Klopp respecting the winter break and taking some time off. Must say the holiday was booked before the replay, but you'll be at Anfield for us, won't you?
Yes, I will. Cheerio.